What's up, guys? It's the Aussie Sim Commentator channel here. We are back and we are live down here at the Rockingham Speedway, the Rock, for round number 11 of the Output Racing League. I'm pretty sure this one is the Sxar 125 from the Rock. As you can see, we've got a fairly small field right now, but it's a small track, so that means that the action is going to be absolutely intense. 12 people have laid down lap times, myself included, so my time won't count, as we see the 54 of Derek Myers there going for a spin, coming off of turn 2. At this time, I'd like to introduce a newbie to the commentary booth. Can everyone give a big warm welcome to the 24 driver, Mr. Jared Polshy.
I should talk about my last name prior, but what's going on, everybody?
So Jared, this is going to be your first time in the booth. Are you excited?
I am excited. First time up here. Kind of an intimidating track to watch, let alone race. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
Alright, well, what we like to do here is we like to go out on track and take a couple of laps just to show the guys at home what it's like to drive on this track. So let's get into that now. Now, there is no set place to come out when you come out of the pits, so you can get onto the track as early as you can, get as much speed built up as you possibly can. Try and hold it flat around the outside. I gotta go into the wall a little bit there, but that's okay. Hold it up high to get a big run going into turn 1. And you almost gotta race this track like you're racing at Richmond. Hook your tires down on that yellow line. Coming into turn 3 and 4 is the same thing. The major difference between this and Richmond is this is a little bit longer and this is so much more bumpier. You see, we're chasing on the tail of Frank Isaacson there. Frank got a little bit wrong there in 1 and 2, and we were able to catch up a lot of time on him. Frank running an Autism Speaks paint job. It looks really cool. We try to get up on the inside of Frank.
Car out front. Car out front. Corner right. Corner right. 24.758. Corner right.
And that's how you get the move done.
Car out front.
Now, one thing I haven't tried yet is getting onto pit road, so we'll do that right now. Let Frank know what my intentions are.
Car out front. Car out front.
And we made it a little bit fast, but we made it. No penalty. So not a hard pit road to get onto, but not particularly an easy one either if you want to be fast. Now let's head back into the on-track action here. We've got Travis Massier on the screen. He is right behind the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. I just want to say really quickly, thank you to everyone who gave me some support on Twitch and helped to get me back onto the computer. Unfortunately, my old computer, the motherboard died, so we needed to do a complete rebuild to get going again. And I just want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. It absolutely means a lot. Alright, Jared, who is going to be your pick to win this race? You know, we got some good fast guys like Tyler and Jared and Matt, but Thomas is in the field as well, and he doesn't have very much experience here. So who do you reckon is going to win this race?
See, for some reason, if Jonathan doesn't come in here and take Jaren, I think Jaren might have a shot. I think the real race is going to be between Jaren and Tyler, though.
Alrighty. Well, I'm holding out hope for Thomas, because I think Thomas, even though he's never raced here before, he takes to any track like a duck to water. He's not very high in the timing meters right now, but you know, I'm sure that's going to change soon enough. We see Matt Burgess diving on the inside of the 5 of Mark Penticup there. Mark down in the 11th position. Matt Burgess up into the 3rd position. Matt Burgess, obviously the sponsor for this race, with it being the Sxar 125. Well, as we see Travis Massey in the 13, getting it a little bit wrong coming off of turn 2 and just giving the wall a little bit of a whack. And that is going to be one of the major danger points here on the track, is the exit of turn 2, especially if cars are too wide. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on it on the restarts. And for those of you who like a little bit of stats, right now out of the 14 people registered in this session, the strength of field is a 21.43, but that is likely to change as more people start to come into the session. We got the 13 of Travis Massey on the screen, currently P5. The top time to beat at the moment is a 23.217 set by Tyler. Jared Sanchez right behind him with a 23.278. As we now have a look at the or had a look very briefly at the 0.22 of Wendell Lowe, currently down in the 10th position, a fairly recent addition into the Output Racing League, a man who I've actually had many great battles in the skippies with. And now we go and have a look at Thomas Harmon, who's back on track. His fast time at the moment is a 23.544, so he's a couple of tenths off the pace. But we are definitely going to be looking at him to start improving in the very near future. As you see, he's hooking those left side tyres onto the yellow line as he comes around to finish this lap. Just gotta wait for our timing monitor to say what it is. It is a 24.570. So no improvement there. But you can see he is absolutely pushing it. In saying that, I think the track might have slowed up just a little bit. As we now look at the 16 of Charles Becker as he made a move on the 8 of Frank Isaacson there. Charles currently hasn't laid a lap, so this will be his first flying lap for the session. Frank currently sitting P7. Charles is up into the 10th position with a 23.888, sorry. Oh, as we see Jonas Sanchez going for a big spin coming out of the pits there. The car looks pretty buggered there. We'll have to see if he wants to come out and have another run. So we're starting to get into the last 15 minutes of this session. Drivers might start thinking about coming out to do some qualifying simulation runs. As we see the 12 with Matt Burgess on the screen. Currently third still with a 23.396. Going to come across the line this time for a 24.767. He might be doing a racing practice run. What's up, Harmon 928 Motorsports? As we see now on screen, a little bit of a battle here between the 21 of Brian Chambliss, sorry, the 022 of Wendell Lowe. These guys are currently scored in the 8th and 10th positions respectively. Wendell going for a big inside move there in 1 and 2. And he gets it pulled off before the exit. That was a nice pass. Oh, it's Trev, Team 29 Racing. How's it going, Trevor? How come you're not out here having a run, mate? As we see now, Thomas Harmon trying to get around the outside of the 8 of Frank Isaacson. 6th and 7th respectively between these guys. Thomas goes for a big inside move into turn 3. Frank stays up high and lets him have it. Not that he had much of a choice. Frank's going to try and battle back on the inside of Thomas though. Can't quite get up there. As we can see now that Trevor Harmon has actually come into the session. He's currently set a time of a 24.372. And there he is, the number 29 car. A nice blue and black paint scheme. As he starts to catch up to the back of Frank Isaacson now. Frank taking that higher line into the corner, allowing Trevor with his fresher tyres to just absolutely dominate on the low side. Got Tyler back on the track now. Let's see what he can do for a flying lap here now. This will be a good indication on whether the track has slowed down at all. does a time of a 23.628, which would indicate that maybe the track has slowed down a couple of tenths. So we're now looking at the 21 of Brian Chambliss, who was right behind Tyler. Currently scored in the 8th position with a 23.831. So now go back looking at the 026 of Tyler. And now back to the 16. Charles Becker and the 86 and Gerald West. Let's see what Gerald can do for his first flying lap. He's got the 16 right on his arse there. He crosses the line with a 24.201, which is only good enough for 11th, but he's now been dropped down to 12th by Trevor Harmon. Hit the wall off of turn 2 and decided to pull it in. We're starting to get to the business end of practice now. Everyone will be looking at doing qualifying simulation runs. Try and get that optimal line etched into their minds. So when they get out on track for qualifying, they know exactly what they've got to do. We do have confirmation that the track has warmed up quite a bit, which means the times will start to get very slow, so we won't have a true picture of everyone's speed until qualifying. With just 7 minutes to go in practice, things will start heating up a lot. See right there is the 86 trying to make a move on the 026. He's right up on his tailgate. Gerald just missed the line a little bit on entry, but he's got a better line coming off the corner there. Dives it right down low on Tyler. Couldn't quite get the move done. As we look at Thomas now, he's starting another flying lap. He's going underneath the 8 of Frank. Thomas does a 23.979. which won't improve him at all. Now we look back at the 8 of Frank. As I alluded to earlier, using the Autism Speaks paint job, and it does look like a really nice paint job actually. Just behind Frank is Travis Massier in the 13. Just gave the wall on the exit of turn 2 a little bit of a tap there. As now iRacing can't decide whether it wants to focus on Frank or Travis. As you see, Wendell Lowe's back out on the track now. And the 16 and Charles Becker, as we see Frank. Oh, he must have caught the wall on the exit of turn 2. He's down on the inside there, rocking against the back straight pit wall. As we now have a look at the 022 of Wendell Lowe, 38 of Thomas Harmon right behind him. Speaking of Thomas, there he is. Running a much more calculated line down there. American racing fans just jumped into the chat wishing everyone good luck in the race. He wishes he had the track so he could run with everyone. As we've got about 3 minutes left in this session. Everyone's just going to be coming out to make sure they've got everything sorted that they need to get sorted. So this means that we are going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we will have the grid for this race. Alrighty guys, we are going to go back to the action now. Cars are just starting to get onto the track. Off the pole, we're going to have Tyler in the 026 car. On his outside will be the 13 of Travis Massier. Starting out of P3 will be the 12 of Matt Burgess, and on his outside the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. Then starting out of 5th, we're going to have the 16 of Charles Becker, and on his outside the 54 of Derek Myers. Starting out of P7 will be the 18 of Brian Beach, on his outside the 38 of Thomas Harmon. Then we are going to have the 39, I think it is. Oh, the 99 of Dustin German. Oh, that was bad. And on his outside, the 29 of Trevor Harmon. Right behind them, we're going to have the 5 of Mark Pentecoff and the 8 of Frank Isaacson. And we've got the 022 of Wendell Lowe and the 86 of Gerald West. And last but not least, all by himself, will be the 21 of Brian Chambliss, starting out of the last position there. Gerald and Brian did not lay down laps. The pole time was a 23.268 set by Tyler. And pole was only separated by 0.141. We got a strength of field of 2179 out of the 17 people in this server, including myself and the admin Jared, sorry. As we roll around, I'm not sure if we're going to have 1 or 2 laps under the pace car here. The lights are out on the pace car, so we might be going green straight away. The pace car is in. The first start is on green. All the restarts on the leader.
Green.
And we are off and racing here for Output Racing League, round number 11. Tyler goes out to a big lead already, just storming away from that first position, taking full advantage of his pole time. As we see the field snaking their way through, looks like we had a battle a little bit further back involving the 38 of Thomas Harmon. He's on the outside of the 16 and they made contact. They've both gone sideways, but they both managed to hold on. They're both going to drop a lot of positions there. As they come around turn 4. Looks like they're getting back into the swing of things. We see 26, Tyler Gary. In second place at the moment, we have got the 13 of Travis Massier. Travis absolutely showing what he's got to give here. Right behind him is the 4 Jaron Sanchez in P3. Jaron is looking pretty smooth here at the moment. Right behind them in 4th, we've got the 12 of Matt Burgess. Behind them is the 54 Derek Myers. Going to have a quick look back at Thomas, who's back in the 8th position at the moment, as he's just gotten underneath Frank Isaacson. trying to make his charge back to the top. As we're going to go back and look at our leader, and what a lead he has got. If we look out of the back of his car, you can see the gap is visually huge. As we're going to go back and have a look at these guys now. The 12 has gotten around to 13. The 13's actually dropped off a lot. Travis is now down in 4th after being passed by both Jaron and Matt Burgess. Matt looking menacing, looking like he wants to get around Jaron. They're about 2.5 seconds back from the leader. Matt just sticking to the back of Jaron like two June bugs on a summer's night. We're going to go back and have a little bit of a look through the field a little bit here. See, the 38 of Thomas Harmon's made another move now on the 29 of Trevor Harmon. We've got Harmon on Harmon action. That's going to promote Thomas up into the 7th position as he now makes his charge towards the 18 of Brian Beach. We're just going to quickly go check in with Matt Burgess. Looks like he still hasn't got the move done. In fact, he's coming back into the clutches of Travis Massier here in the 13. Not sure if Matt's hit the wall or something. He definitely looks like he slowed down a little bit. As we go back to looking at Thomas Harmon now, who has caught up to Brian Beach in the 18. Thomas trying to charge his way back through the field after that earlier contact with the 16 of Charles Becker. Charles back down in 11th at the moment. It looks like Brian got a little bit loose off of turn 2. Thomas tried to look low, couldn't quite get there in time. Oh, and Thomas gets into the wall there on the entry to turn 1. Completely put him out of his groove there. Thomas has got to calm down a little bit. There's still a lot of race to run. So far we have been completely caution free, which is very surprising considering how bumpy this track is. Thomas now right on the back of Brian. Brian went a little bit too deep there, took a little bit of a higher line. Thomas couldn't quite take advantage of it. As now the gap between first and second is almost 4 seconds worth. It's about 3.5 on the straightaways. absolutely pulling away with this race. We see Thomas just struggling to try and find a good run to get around Brian here. On any other track, on any other day, this move would have been made 5 laps ago. But yeah, not this time. And it looks like Matt Burgess has finally made it around Jaron there. Not sure what's happened to Jaron, but he looks like he's dropped off the pace quite a fair bit. He's starting to fall into the clutches of Travis Massia, who is also falling into the clutches of Derek Myers. Travis trying to goat Jaron into making a mistake there, couldn't quite work. As we now see a little bit of contact there between Thomas and Brian. Thomas got onto the outside of Brian. A little bit of a squeeze into the wall. Brian's starting to get a little bit loose in his defense. And here comes Thomas to get the move done going into turn 1. Chalk Thomas Harmon back up into P6. As we go back to looking at these guys here, looks like the 13 of Travis has definitely fallen into the clutches of the 54 of Derek. Derek's on his inside and gets the move done as clean as you like it. Go check in real quick with our leader, who's now out to a 5-second gap. He's got such a lead that Wendell Lowe is mere seconds away from going a lap down. And so far, the best lap of the race was set by Tyler at a 23.876. But he is absolutely pulling away with this win. And saying that, it's still very early days. We're going to go back and have a look at what's going on through the field. Looks like Matt and Jaron are going to restart their hostilities in the very near future. Behind them is the 54 Derek Myers, who's just dropped off of these guys a little bit. Travis Massia, who's going to start falling into the clutches of the Thomas Harmon car there. Right behind him is Brian Beach, and it looks like we actually got a little bit of a battle going on here behind him with the 86 and the 29. The 86 has actually gotten around the 29 coming off of turn 2 there. So we now go and have a look at Charles Becker in the 16. Hasn't been able to move up since that contact. Got Dustin German right on his bumper there. The 5 of Mark Pentecoff now, who is under attack from Frank Isaacson. Frank takes the low line on Mark. These guys are battling for the most important sheep station of them all, and that is P13. Frank couldn't quite get the move done, pulled out of it. Bringing up the rear is the 22 of Wendell Lowe. 21 seconds off of the lead. Now Wendell is definitely the first victim who is close to going a lap down. He's only 22 seconds in front of our leader here, Tyler. Which means he's only 2 seconds up the road. Looks like Tyler is starting to slow down a little bit. I'm not sure whether this is intentional or what. I think it is completely intentional. But yeah, his pace has dropped off a ton. His last lap was a 25.9, everyone else was in the 24s. So I think he might just be taking it easy a little bit, trying to save a little bit of fuel so he can, you know, maybe go a little bit longer in the fuel run. See, these guys have still got a little bit of a gap between them. Thomas Harmon's still sitting there in 5th place. Derek ready to pounce. Go back to looking at our leader. He has picked the pace back up again, so I think he might have just had a bad lap. Let's go and have a look in his gyro cam at how he's running this race. So much banking here at Rockingham, it's a little bit deceptive. And you see up there in the distance is the 022 of Wendell Lowe. As we're going to go into the Speedway memes chopper now. As you can see, Tyler is just cool, calm and collected. Just running the tires above that yellow line. Oh, we see a lot of smoke up ahead. I'm not sure what's happened there, but it didn't bring out a caution. We saw we saw the 18 and the 29 were involved. Brian Beach and Trevor Harmon. As now Tyler is starting to catch up to the back of Wendell Lowe in the 022. We're just going to quickly go back to see if we can see what happened there for those other drivers. Oh, Frank got it locked up and Trevor had nowhere to go. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there with Frank. Let's cheat and go this way with it. Oh, that wasn't Frank, sorry, it was Brian Beach. Got Gerald West behind him. Oh, he's hit the wall and Gerald got into him. He locked it up to try and stop from going up into the racing line. As we're going to go back to looking at our leader now. And he is going into the pits. everyone making pit stops now. Frank Isaacson, Mark Penticup and Derek Myers are the only ones on track at the moment. Tyler taking a pit stop after everyone else. You see a lot of people coming out of the pits now. There's Frank into the pits. And here comes Tyler out of the pits. Tyler has reassumed the race lead. Thomas Harmon up into P3. Right on the tail of the 12 of Matt Burgess. Looks like some of the other guys have started to trip the timing markers. Says Jaren's in second position, but we'll have to wait and see. Jaren is indeed in P2. Derek Myers in P3. Matt Burgess has slipped all the way back to 4th. Thomas Harmon in 5th. Travis Massier in P6. Brian Chambliss in P7. And he is under attack from the 86 of Gerald West. We're just going to sit here with these guys for a quick second. Gerald goes for the big inside pass. Brian just let him have it. Right behind these guys we have the 16 of Charles Becker. And right behind them we have the 99 of Dustin German, who I can't just jump to because apparently his button didn't appear. Mark is actually a lap down. There's Jaren right behind him. Got Wendell Lowe in the 0.22 after that. The 8 of Frank Isaacson, bringing up the rear of the cars who are still on track. As we're going to go back to our leader now. Got a big gap behind and a big gap in front. We're going to let iRacing decide where we want to look at the moment. We're going to set it to crashes and hope for the best. And we're down on the 12 and the 38, who are about to commence battle for the 4th position. Matt, being the sponsor of this event, wants to have a good showing, wants to try and get on that podium. Thomas just wants to consolidate a good points run here. But from what I hear, it's been a really tough couple of weeks. Especially for our reigning champion who couldn't make it to this event. And there is Thomas on the inside of Matt. Now Thomas is going to start his march up towards Derek Myers in the 54 car. Now, Thomas doesn't appear to be pulling away from Matt at all. You can see Derek's gotten around the lap car there of Mark Pentecoff, sorry. Oh, we've got a caution. I heard someone hit a wall, but I didn't see who or where. And it was the 13 of Travis Massier. Hit the wall coming off of turn 2 and was briefly stopped sideways on the track. Let's watch that in slow-mo. Comes up, he's just too high on the track. Carrying too much speed. Just clips the end of where the safer barrier finishes and spins down to the inside of the inside wall. Gave that a fair knock, which is not good. He was doing quite well. He did make it back to his pit stall though, and that's pretty important. And this is going to be the first caution of our race here. Lap 56 of 125. And everyone's going to come in for a pit stop. Everyone wants those fresh tyres. The 5 of Mark Pentecoff got the wave around. Let's see how things shake out after the pit stops here. Tyler very conservative into his pit box. Brian Chalmers, he's out of the pits already. He must have only taken 2. Oh, Chambliss. Why do I keep saying Chalmers? Someone slap me. Alright, as everyone starts coming across the line, we're going to start getting updated standings here. So in the lead of this race, we have the 21 of Brian Chambliss. P2 is going to be Tyler Geary, the 4 of Darren Sanchez in 3rd. Derek Myers in the 54 4th. Thomas Harmon out of 5th. Gerald West will be out of 6th, Dustin German out of 7th, Charles Becker out of 8th, Matt Burgess out of 9th, and P10 will be the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. And it looks like we have retirements from the 29 of Trevor Harmon and the 18 of Brian Beach, which is quite unfortunate. And Brian is going to go into the pits this time by. I think he just wanted to get the laps led bonus, or the lead lap bonus, which is going to promote Tyler back into the lead. And so far, that's the only lead change we've had all race. So we've had 2 lead changes. That was Brian Chambliss up into the lead, and then Brian Chambliss out of the lead. So let's see how we can go for this restart. So come out of turn 3. Remember, the restarts are on the leader. Pace car is in. And we're off and racing again.
Green flag.
Tyler out to a very quick start, which is to be expected. Jaron caught on the outside. He's going to lose quite a few positions here. Oh, he's into the wall in turn 2. And he's got Thomas Harmon on his inside. He's going to have Gerald West there as well. Gerald almost sticks his nose in to make it 3 wide. Couldn't quite get it done. Jaron now right on the tail of Thomas, slotted into that 4th position. Gerald still right there on his tailgate. I don't think anyone has anything at all for Tyler, as we saw the 54 of Derek get into the wall on the exit of turn 2. The 86 of Gerald is now making a pass on the 4 of Jaron. The next one in line is going to be Dustin German in the 99, trying to make a move on Jaron. Jaron looks like he's not comfortable at all. He's too high. I don't think he got the wall there, but he definitely got a little bit loose on the corner exit, as he now has to deal with the 12 of Matt Burgess coming up to him. Hopefully Jaron can get his stuff sorted and get back into the groove of things, as he's now slipped all the way back to the 6th position. We're going to go have a quick look at our leader, and he has indeed checked out from the field. This is going to be Tyler's race to lose. As we now watch as the 86 of Gerald West is going to make a move on the inside of Thomas Harmon for 3rd position. Gets it done smooth as silk. Now hopefully things are going to settle down a little bit here. See Tyler still out to a massive lead. I think that's going to be the entire thing of this race. See a couple of battles here back in the pack a little bit. The 12 and the 5 want around the 4. Doesn't look like they're going to quite get it yet. But Matt Burgess is definitely looking strong. Jaron just defending himself perfectly right now. Doing what he's got to do to keep Matt Burgess behind him. As we've got a bit of smoke up ahead. I think that's the 022 car, and it is a Wendell Lowe. Let's see if we can see what happened to Wendell there. Oh, we got a caution. Wendell got it all wrong on the exit of turn 4. Oh, we got the 54, Derek Myers going for a spin. Thomas was caught up in it. And is actually caught up on the barrels there at the end of the pit straight too. Oh, we got a tap from Gerald West. Thomas had absolutely nowhere to go. Jaron got a little piece of that as well. Jaron was able to keep going. But that was all caused by Gerald West there getting a little bit too aggressive. Gerald now up into the 2nd position. I think that might have to get reviewed post-race. Lap 69. You see Wendell coming into the pits just in front of these guys. He's trying to stay out of the way so they can all get to their pit stalls safely. You see the leader now is Brian Chambliss again. He's probably going to go around and get another pit stop. Let's see how the pit stops here unfold. Oh, Gerald just couldn't quite get there in front of Tyler. As you see, Brian is indeed going into the pits now. I'm stirring the pot a little bit in the Discord channel. It looks like we're kind of sort of getting back into some kind of formation now. The lights do appear to be out on the safety car. No one really wants to line up. There we go. So I've got Tyler Geary, Gerald West, Dustin German, Matt Burgess, Mark Pentecoff, Charles Becker,
Green flag.
and I am way behind, apparently. I forgot to set it back to live. The lead that Tyler can amass here is just absolutely amazing. As we're going to go back and have a look at the 12. Matt Burgess, who got passed by both Gerald and Dustin German. Looks like the first 5 cars are at least a little bit sorted out now. So we've got a battle here going on in the back of the pack. The 8, the 16 and the 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. Conspiracy? I think not. You see Jaron make a very easy pass on the inside there. Oh, we got someone else gone. It's the 99 of Dustin German. Oh, and he's gone for a big spin. Oh, he's hit the wall on the exit of 2 there. Matt Burgess has gone down low to miss it. Dustin just about hit him again. But then went and just smashed that inside wall. That is unfortunate for Dustin. He's normally one of the faster guys. as we're starting to unravel a little bit here and descend into a little bit of anarchy with half of the race gone. A little bit over half the race gone, and we got some pit lane games going on. Tyler did not want to pit. He goaded Gerald into pitting there. And Jaron and Frank have also hit the pits. It looks like we've got a few more retirements at the moment. So joining Brian Beach and Trevor Harmon in the retirements area is Wendell Lowe, Derek Myers and Dustin German. Thomas Harmon still in his car. Travis Massier just got a wave around. Travis is 13 laps down. Or 15 laps down, sorry. Let's see how things shake out now when they cross the line. I know for sure and certain we're going to have Tyler in the lead in the 026, Matt Burgess in second in the 12, Mark Pentecup third in the 5, and it looks like we're going to have Brian Chambliss in the 21 car starting out of 4. Going to have Charles Becker in the 16 out of 5, Jaron Sanchez in the 4 starting out of 6, Frank Isaacson out of 7, and Gerald West is going to be starting from P8. Ninth place car of Dustin German is out of the race. Thomas Harmon still in getting fixed. Travis Massier has gone for his pit stop after receiving the wave around. Travis is down in 13th, but in a couple of laps he'll be up into 12th, and not long after that he'll be in 11th. And Thomas Harmon right now is down in the 10th position, 9 laps down. If he doesn't get back onto the track soon, he's going to start losing some position. No worries, Wendell. Thank you for participating in the race, mate. Unfortunately, things didn't go quite right. But hopefully next week, man, you'll have some better luck at Charlotte. As we are on 1 to go, let me just make sure that we are in fact live. And next week, Old Charlotte for the finale of Season 1 2019. The pace car is in. And Tyler is off and racing already. Let's get another big jump there. Looks like Matt has easily slotted himself into second. Got Brian Chambliss trying to get around the outside of Mark Pentecup, the recipient of a couple of the lucky dogs, and he's done it too. Right behind him we have Jaron making the move on the 16 of Charles Becker. Gerald West just in the back of all this, trying to make his way back through these slower guys. As we go back up and have a look at the 4 for a second, he's right on the tail of the 5 of Mark Pentecup. Let's see if he can get the move done going into turn 3. Doesn't quite have the speed to get there. As Gerald looked low on the 16 of Charles Becker there. Let's go and have a look from the nose of the 4 car to see how things are going. It looks like he's running low. He's got the run on mark. Not sure if he's got it done yet. Let's go and have a look from his gearbox. Oh, he's got the 86 right behind him. And there goes the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. The front end of Gerald West's car looks a little bit jacked up from being involved in those couple of incidents. We're still riding on board with Jaron here. He goes a little bit high. The 86 is on him. That was as close as you want to get. Gerald West is underneath Jaron right now. And he has got the position. That is P4 for Gerald, P5 for Jaron. So we're going to go have a quick little look at Matt Burgess, see how he's getting along. He's in a space all of his own. Tyler Geary still in the lead of this race by a long way. We're just going to quickly set iRacing to focus on crashes for a second as we start working lap 87. Looking back at the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. Oh, who has got a big run on Gerald West, who went very wide there. He's got the move done. He's back up into P4. Gerald back into P5. We're going to have to keep an eye on these two because it could be a pretty exciting race here. Running for the 4th and 5th positions. Gerald seems to be dropping off a lot now. I'm not sure if he's overheated his tyres or what. It looks like things have sorted themselves out there. As now see the 86 being challenged by the 8. Gerald West, what's going on with his car? He was right on it for a long time there and now he's just not. He must have hit the wall somewhere. He must have some kind of damage or his tyres are way overheated because he is dropping like a stone. Maybe a couple of them front end impacts have severely damaged his car. As you now see, Travis Massier has worked his way up into the 10th position. Thomas Harmon up into P9. 15 and 14 laps down respectively. We're going to go and let iRacing decide where to focus us now. We're onto the 5 of Mark Pentecoff, who's right behind the 16 of Charles Becker, as Charles starting to look like he's going to make a move on the 8 of Frank Isaacson. He gets up to the inside in turn 3. Can he get the move made by the end of turn 4? Not quite. He got a little bit loose on the yellow line there. Has to file back in behind Frank. As now we're going to go... Oh, no, we're not going to go anywhere. He's making another move into turn 3. This time he's further up. Does he have the grip down low this time? Not quite getting him cleared, but he has got position. And now he's got him clear going into turn 1. Now he runs a little bit wide. Will Frank fight back? Right behind them is the 5 of Mark Pentecoff. Frank didn't quite have the legs to fight back there. So we're going to go have a look at Jaron, who's now caught up to the back of Brian Chambliss in the 21 car. And just up in front of these guys is the lap down car of Thomas Harmon. Thomas just rolling around getting laps. He's not going to get the 0x bonus, but he's definitely going to get the finish bonus. As Brian and Jaron have both gotten around him quite safely. Jaron now looking like he's trying to overdrive the car a little bit. Getting a little bit desperate, trying to find a way around Brian. We're going to go and let iRace decide where it wants us to look at. Currently looking at the 16 of Charles Becker. Right behind him is the 8 and the 5, who are still trying to battle away there for the 6th position. As they all catch up to the lap down car of Thomas Harmon. Frank's going to make a move on Charles. This is for P5. Does Frank have what it takes to get around him? Not quite. As the 21 of Brian Chambliss has actually gone to the pits. So these guys are now fighting for 4th. And that will promote Jaron Sanchez back up into the 3rd position. And Tyler is in the pits as well. This is what happens when you don't go for a pit stop when everyone else does. It puts you off strategy. This will probably be the last pit stop he'll need to make in the race. Here comes Matt Burgess now, our new leader, with a nearly 3-second gap over the 4 of Jaron Sanchez. And for the first time in this race, Tyler has gone a lap down. Jaron's gone into the pits as well. This is going to promote Charles, Frank and Mark into 2nd, 3rd and 4th respectively. And Matt's now hit the pits. Let's see what these other guys are going to do. And we got Charles hitting the pits. Frank and Mark are still out on the track. Mark pulling away from Frank a little bit there, sorry. And Frank stays out. What does Mark do? Oh, sorry, Mark stays out. What does Frank do? Frank stays out. And Frank's gotten passed by the Tyler Geary 026 car. Tyler's going to march on his way up towards the 5 to try and get that lap back now. As when they cross the line, we're going to have 20 laps to go in this race. And there it is, Mark has just done it. 20 laps to go in this race. Tyler now absolutely pouring the pressure on Mark. Mark pulls over, lets Tyler by. Tyler's just gotten himself back onto the lead lap. But he's still down in 4th position. Mark's still out on track, Frank's still out on track, and the 86 of Gerald West still out on track. As you can see now, a battle here between the 4 and the 12 of Jaron and Matt, battling for the 6th position. Effectively, this is going to be P3 when Mark, Frank and Gerald all go for their pit stops. As Jaron gives Matt the inside run, but Matt got blocked by the 8 of Frank. Still currently P2, but Matt still gets the move done, as now they both make their way under the inside of the 8. Now these guys start their march towards the 5 car to get their laps back. Let's go have a look at Brian Chambliss in the 21. He's caught up to the back of Mark. And he's going to make the move going into turn 3. Gets it done very easily. As we go back to have a look at the 12 now. He's right on the back of Mark as well. Don't forget, Matt and Jaron are fighting for an effective podium. That is, unless Mark, Frank and Gerald can stay out and hold off Tyler. Matt a little bit balked by Mark there. Mark now takes the high line to let these two go. They both get around him in 3 and 4. But it closed the gap between Matt and Jaron. Jaron looks like he's got a little bit of spoiler damage there actually, on the left side. I'm not sure, but I think that might have been from when Gerald attempted that pass on him. Oh, and Matt's in the wall. This has allowed Jaron to get a good run on him. Couldn't quite get the move done, but closes the gap up again. So we're now going to go have a look at Tyler again. Let's put another lap down on Thomas, as Charles Becker now gets his lap back, just about. Mark is in the pits. Frank Isaacson has now taken the lead of this race. Tyler is absolutely flying right now. He's only 7 seconds behind the lead. And Frank is soon to be under pressure from the 86 Gerald West. Let's get some of this Autism Speaks up on the broadcast here. Frank still refusing to go to the pits. We're only going to have 6 laps to go when they cross the line next time by. Let's see if Frank has done enough fuel saving to hold on to this lead. But in saying that, Tyler is coming. He's only 5 seconds back from these guys as they start 6 laps to go. There's Mark right in front of Frank now. Mark with the fresher tyres should be able to pull away from Frank fairly easily. Now we'll see if Mark has the right strategy. 5 laps to go. Gerald's still right there behind him, but can't quite catch up to him. Four to go now. The gap has shrunk to about half a second between Frank and Gerald. Frank's hit the wall. And this is going to be what Gerald needs to get the lead. Makes an easy pass there on the inside. And this has also closed the gap between these guys and Tyler. Tyler is now just 1.5 seconds back. You can see him there on the screen looking menacing. 3 laps to go now. Tyler makes his way under the inside of Frank, as easy as you like it. Looks like Frank will still get a podium. But can Gerald hold on for the win? 2 laps to go. Gerald goes high. And there it is. It's done. Tyler's just taken the lead back again. Tyler has been the absolutely dominant car this entire race as he starts his last lap. Here he comes around turns 3 and 4. He's going to take the checkered flag. Tyler Gary, the winner of Output Racing League, round number 11 from Rockingham, celebrates with a drift. Well done to Tyler. Gerald West in second, Frank Isaacson third, Brian Chambliss fourth, Matt Burgess in fifth. Alrighty guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial, and when we come back, it's time for interviews.
Out just trying to barely get up to speed.
Alrighty guys, in the waiting room for the broadcast booth, I need Frank, Gerald and Tyler.
Tyler, we need more than this. This isn't good enough content, all right?
Alrighty guys, we are back and we're kicking things off big. Third place and our hard charger for the race, the 8 of Frank Isaacson. Frank, what an incredible race. Great strategy there at the end to hold on to that top position and doing it all with Autism Speaks on your car. How do you feel first and foremost?
Well, I never thought I'd be in this booth.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a shock to me to see you holding on to that third position for so long. So talk to us a little bit about your paint scheme here. Autism Speaks, what's it about?
Well, April is Autism Awareness Month, and I have 2 boys, 2 and 3. And last year we found out my 3-year-old has autism.
Oh man, I feel real sorry for you. Hopefully, we can get some more awareness for autism because it is a big problem worldwide, and the more we talk about it, the better we can get a general understanding on it. How has it affected you and your life so far?
Well, we caught it like I said when he was only 2. So we've had speech therapists, and he's in a special preschool, and he's actually doing really, really well.
Well, that's great, man. That's absolutely awesome to hear. I'm glad your little man's doing all right. Now let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk race. Let's talk race strategy. What was going through your mind during that last caution to make you say, "Look, I think I can do something here that's a little bit crazy and stupid, but it might just work"?
Well, I was last on the lead lap, so I went in and filled up right on that last lap of that last caution, and just kind of crossing my fingers. I kept going back and forth between how much fuel and how many laps, and I knew I was going to be really, really close, so I just saved the entire time backing off way.
That's a good plan, and obviously it worked out. You got the hard charger, and you got third place.
I was watching my interval between me and Tyler, no, I'm sorry, Gerald, because I knew he went in on that same lap.
Yeah, I think he was cutting it pretty close as well. And then you guys were also fighting with Brian, I think it was, and then he ended up having to go to the pits because he used up too much of his fuel.
Yeah, that's it's hard to save fuel at this track.
Alright, man. Well, congratulations on your P3 and your hard charger. You are in the draw for that prize at the end of the season, which is just next week. How are you feeling about going to Old Charlotte?
50-50.
50-50?
Well, I'm a mid pack driver usually anyway, so I'm pretty good there, but not as good as the rest of these guys.
Well, hopefully this third place will inspire you with some confidence to start getting some better results, and hopefully we might be able to see you in the booth again.
I hope so. It's comfy in here.
Alrighty, thank you very much, man. Again, congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. I'll be there.
Alrighty, guys, so that was the 8 of Frank Isaacson. Coming up next, we got a man who showed some real big promise when he first came in. We haven't seen him as much in recent times, but we're glad to see him back. We are, of course, talking about the 86 of Gerald West, our second place driver tonight. Gerald, how you going, man? Fuel strategy there at the end, taking the pit stop at the last caution, and managing to hold on to finish second there.
Yeah, I was just short of the win, about 3 seconds short of the win, but it was worth a try. It was just something I figured I'd throw out there. And yeah, you ain't seen me in a while, man. I've had a lot of bad luck lately. It's been some tough races going on, and unfortunately, I was caught up in a bunch of stuff. And tonight, I got into one of my friends, so I hope he'll forgive me for that. But I got into the 4, brought out a caution. Hopefully, it didn't hurt anybody else.
Well, yeah, it looked like when there was a bit of action going on, you had yourself right in the thick of it. If you've seen in the general channel here, I poked a little bit of fun at one of them.
Oh, and my bad, the 54s.
But that's a part of... Oh, he's gone. What's going on? I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We lost connection for just a second. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's alright, man. That happens. The wonders of the internet. So how was your race in all there, man? And how was the race strategy there at the last caution?
Yeah, when we went back green, I kind of knew that it was going to be close. The other guys, they didn't come in after a quick caution come out. They decided to stay out. I was in the back, towards the back anyway, so decided to come on in. And I was a little down on myself for causing an accident early, so I kind of was trying to take myself out of the race. But once I seen the option to do pit strategy and see if it would work, I figured I'd go for it. And I come up just a little bit short, but I don't mind losing. The winner tonight, man, hats off to him. He was the fastest truck on the track, so he definitely deserved the win. But I was trying to steal it from him, for sure.
Alright, man. Well, while we got you up here, is there anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Oh man, all the admins over here that put on the race. It's a lot of fun to come over and race with you guys. So we definitely appreciate you guys throwing up the races, and of course you for calling the race, man. Get to go back and watch it, listen to your commentary, and little laugh here and there with you. But we definitely appreciate what you do up there. All the drivers that showed up, and anybody that's out there watching, we appreciate it.
Well, I am definitely glad to be back commentating these races. It's been a long time and I've really missed it.
Hey, I seen you on the track last week.
Yeah, I decided to have a run last week. just to get back into the swing of things, and it was a bit of fun.
Yeah, last week didn't quite go the way I would like. I had that thing in the bag, man. It would have been a win for me, but unfortunately, I got caught up with a lap car, and it took me out of the race, man. It was an awesome race last week at Michigan. Green flag stops. Couldn't have went any better as far as the league race goes. So hats off to all the guys for that, man. It's just unfortunate what happened to me. But hey, man, no hard feelings here, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. You win some, you lose some, and it just happens.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you next week at Old Charlotte.
Hey, thanks, Corey.
Alrighty, guys. So that was the 86 of Gerald West, and now there's no other way to describe this man but absolutely dominant. I mean, the amount of domination that he showed here tonight is only rivaled by how dominant the Mosport race was. And, you know, he's only got 2 starts with us here this season, but he's got 2 wins from those 2 starts. Of course, we're talking about the 026 of Tyler. Tyler, man, wow.
Thank you.
The way that you drove tonight was just absolutely incredible. It was calm, cool, collected, and controlled the entire time. How was the race from your perspective?
The race was relatively fun for me. Didn't have too many issues like some of the other guys were. Hitting the wall for 2 and things like that. I was a little worried about those guys I was saving at the end because I started doing the math in my head like 10 or 15 laps into the run and realized that you could probably make it all the way if you just saved the beginning of the run. And as soon as I realized that, I went down pit road and pushed as hard as I could for the rest of the race. Make those guys either run out of fuel or not be able to, or I could get past them like how I did.
Well, even with them playing their fuel strategy, you know, you still came back and showed them just what dominance really is.
Yeah. I don't know. Just, I guess it was one of my good tracks tonight.
So, are we going to see you again next week for our race at Charlotte?
Hopefully for sure. Or hopefully, not for sure, but I'm gonna try to make it. But I'm definitely next season. I'm definitely gonna try to make it as many races as I can. Try to compete for a championship.
Well, we'd hope to see you competing for a championship because, you know, with the dominance that we've seen you have here, you know, 2 races, 2 wins, you know, it's a bit hard to pass that up to be a championship contender.
Sure, I plan to be. Don't you never know what's gonna happen. We get a whole bunch of bad races in a row, get unfortunate, get wrecked out, whatever happens. Never know for sure, but we'll just see what happens.
Alright, man, well, while we got you up here in the booth, is there anyone you'd like to thank for helping you out here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jaren for putting on the league. You as well for putting on the broadcast. You guys seem to do a pretty good job whenever I watch it. So, and it always looks good. You guys commentate. So, I enjoy it.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much, Tyler. Hopefully, we will see you next week at Charlotte. And if not, then we look forward to seeing you in your new season.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys, that is the end of the interviews. But before we wrap things up here, we got to go have a talk with the owner and the main operator here of the Output Racing League. Of course, we're talking about the 4 of Jaren Sanchez. Jaren, absolutely dominant display tonight by Tyler. He might not race next week, but he's definitely looking at running the full season next season.
Yeah, he put on a show tonight for sure. He was definitely fast in practice. I thought I might have been able to hang with him a little bit, but nope. I just was not consistent enough, and he was just way faster. Couldn't do nothing about it. But yeah, hope he shows up.
And then next week we're going to Old Charlotte, because apparently New Charlotte has those problems with the championship point softwares.
Yeah, and there's a way around it, but it's a lot of labor involved. I don't feel like doing it, so we're just going to Old Charlotte. and going to close the season out there. We're going to take 2 weeks off, maybe 3, not sure, and then we're going to get back to it in the Cup car.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be an interesting season in the Cup car, especially with the new draft package.
I don't have much practice in those either, so I'm just going to kind of dive right in and see what happens. It's definitely going to be close racing.
Well, sometimes just throwing someone into the deep end is the best way to make them learn.
Yep.
All
I
right,
agree.
man. Well, thank you for putting on the league. It's an absolute blast sitting here commentating it for you and having a run every now and then.
Heck yeah, thanks. Good to have you back. I miss these broadcasts. Everyone does. It's awesome to have them back again.
It's absolutely awesome to be back. I can tell you that now.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, guys. On behalf of the ORL, Jaron, the admins, and the rest of the drivers, we'd like to thank you all for coming out and checking out the racing here tonight. And next week is the finale for Season 1 of 2019 from Old Charlotte, and we hope to see you there. Don't forget to go check out my Twitch channel tomorrow for the replay of this race. I'm also going to be uploading a version of it up onto my personal YouTube channel for everyone to check out. And I will see you guys next week from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Good night.